Have you ever stopped to think about those enigmas that, despite the passage of time, remain unanswered? Mysteries that have baffled generations, inspired crazy theories, books, movies, and even expeditions, yet still, in 2025, stare at us from the shadows like an impossible puzzle to solve. Today, we're diving into some of history's most fascinating unsolved mysteries, the kind that make us question everything we think we know. Get ready because this is going to be an intense ride. Let's start with one of the classics, the Bermuda Triangle. Imagine an area in the Atlantic Ocean between Miami, Bermuda, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. More than 50 ships and 20 airplanes have disappeared without a trace since the 19th century. We're not talking about pirate legends, but documented cases. One of the most famous is Flight 19 in December 1945. 5 U.S. Navy military planes took off on a routine mission, and suddenly, their communications became chaotic. Pilots reported that their compasses stopped working and that they couldn't determine their location. Then silence. No wreckage, no signal, nothing. The creepiest part, a rescue plane sent to find them also vanished. Strange storms, magnetic interference, or something beyond our understanding. Some believe it's a portal to another dimension, while others blame natural phenomena like underwater currents or methane gas pockets. But the truth is, no one knows for sure, and that's what makes it so addictive. Now, let's leave the sea behind and head to the Egyptian desert, because we can't talk about mysteries without mentioning Cleopatra and her lost tomb. Yes, the most famous queen in history, the legendary figure who seduced Julius Caesar and Mark Antony's die. LL holds a secret. No one knows where she's buried. Historians believe she was entombed near Alexandria, but that city has changed so much due to earthquakes, floods, and the passage of time that finding her tomb is like searching for a needle in a haystack. In 2009, archaeologist Kathleen Martinez began excavating a temple near Alexandria, convinced that Cleopatra and Mark Antony might be there. She has found coins, statues, and tunnels, but no sign of the tomb. Why do we care so much? Because it's not just about finding her remains, but about discovering what secrets were buried with the woman who changed the course of history. What if her tomb reveals something we never imagined? Let's jump to something more modern, but just as unsettling, the Sutter children case. This happened in 1945 in West Virginia, USA. It was Christmas Eve, and the Sutter family was celebrating when their house suddenly caught fire. George and Jenny Sutter managed to escape with 4 of their 9 children, but the other 5, who were upstairs, never. And when they finally searched the remains, they found no bones, no teeth, nothing that indicated those children had died in the fire. George tried to go back inside to save them, but the ladder he always kept outside was mysteriously missing that night. Later, witnesses claimed to have seen the children in a strange car while the house was burning. Over the years, the family received anonymous letters and even a photo of a man who could have been one of the missing boys, now grown up. Did they really die in the fire, or were they taken? Case remains open, with theories ranging from personal revenge to an elaborate kidnapping. If you think that's disturbing, wait until you hear about the Voynich manuscript. This book seems straight out of a science fiction movie. It was discovered in 1912 by a Polish bookseller, but it's believed to be over 600 years old. It's handwritten in a language that no one has deciphered, with drawings of plants that don't exist, unknown constellations, and human figures in scenes impossible to understand. Experts have used artificial intelligence, and linguists have spent decades analyzing it, but nothing. Is it a secret code, an elaborate hoax, or maybe a message from another world? The only certainty is that it remains a total mystery, and every attempt to decode it only raises more questions. These are just a few examples, but there are hundreds of cases like these: the disappearance of the Roanoke colony, the fate of Nazi gold hidden at the end of World War II, or even what happened to Malaysia Airlines flight MH370, which vanished in 2014 with 239 people on board. What they all have in common is that they remind us of something, no matter how advanced we are. Some things remain beyond our understanding. Maybe that's what fascinates us so much, the idea that the world still holds secrets that could change everything. So tell me, which of these mysteries intrigues you the most? Or do you have a favorite that I didn't mention? Drop it in the comments, and if you want us to dive deeper into any of them, let me know. Get ready for an even deeper journey, because the cases I'm about to bring up are so strange they might just make you look over your shoulder twice. Let's begin. First, let's talk about something straight out of a nightmare, the Dyatlov Pass incident. This happened in 1959 in the Ural Mountains of Russia. 9 experienced hikers, all young and in great shape, set off on a skiing expedition. But something went horribly wrong. Weeks later, they were found dead under circumstances no one has ever fully explained. Some were half-dressed, others had injuries as if they had been crushed by an enormous force, and one was even missing their tongue. Their bodies were scattered in the snow far from their campsite, which had been abandoned with tents cut open from the inside as if they had fled in terror. The craziest part, their clothes had traces of radiation. What made them run out into the deadly cold barefoot? Theories range from avalanches to secret military experiments, or even encounters with something not human. Russia reopened the case in 2019, but the official explanations don't convince everyone. This mystery is so chilling that it continues to inspire documentaries and debates. Now, let's switch continents and go to Australia to the Somerton Man case, also known as the Tamamshud mystery. On December 1st, 1948, a man was found dead on a beach in Adelaide. He was impeccably dressed, wearing a suit and polished shoes, but had no identification. In his pocket, there was a piece of paper with the words Tamamshud, meaning finished in Persian, torn from a rare book. When the book was found, it contained a handwritten code that no one has deciphered to this day. There were no visible wounds, but doctors believe he was poisoned with something undetectable at the time. Was he a spy, the victim of a crime of passion? The strangest part, no one ever claimed his body and his identity remains an enigma. In 2021, DNA testing was attempted to solve the case, but while there are new clues, the mystery remains unsolved. And if that sounded bizarre, wait until you hear about the Mary Celeste, the world's most famous ghost ship. In 1872, this sailing vessel was found adrift in the Atlantic between Portugal and the Azores. The crew that boarded it got a shock. Everything was in perfect order. There was food on the plates, clothes hanging, and cargo intact, but not a single soul aboard. The captain, his family, and the sailors had vanished without a trace. The lifeboat was missing, but there were no signs of a struggle or a storm. What made them abandon a perfectly good ship in the middle of the ocean? Some say mutiny, others blame pirates, and some suggest paranormal phenomena, sea creatures, or even abductions. The Mary Celeste remains a symbol of the unexplainable, and every theory only deepens the mystery. These cases show that the world is still full of shadows we can't illuminate, at least not yet. So here's the question, do you think we will ever solve these enigmas? Or are some mysteries meant to remain unsolved forever? Let me know in the comments, and if you want us to investigate further, just ask. See you in the next video, where we'll continue hunting the unexplainable. Don't forget to like and share if this gave you chills.